Intel and AMD both reported their second quarter earnings recently, and both companies gave disappointing guidance for investors, and their stocks both declined after earnings as a result. Intel and AMD both pointed to a common factor in their poor sales guidance. A weak personal computer market had been hurting their business. This weak PC sector could also play a major factor in other tech companies' earnings. So it will be important for investors to be cautious about some other companies that have exposure to the PC market, as they could also have poor earnings. Let's take a look at some details of the PC market decline and some other possible companies that may be affected. In Intel's prepared remarks for their earnings, they said that they expect the PC total addressable market to decline by 10% in 2022 due to macroeconomic weakness. AMD would further support this claim when CEO Dr. Lisa Su said on AMD's earnings call that, quote, "We have taken a more conservative outlook on the PC business. So a quarter ago, we would have thought that the PC business would be down, let's call it high single digits. And our current view of the PC business is that it will be down, let's call it mid-teens," end quote. Since PC demand has been surprisingly weak, Intel and AMD's semiconductors are less needed for these markets, and it's hurting their revenue forecasts and stock. This declining PC demand was also an issue in Microsoft's earnings that the company noted held back its quarterly sales. The research and consulting firm Gartner noted that worldwide PC shipments experienced the sharpest decline in 9 years, as the global PC market declined 12.6% in the second quarter. The report said, quote, "The decline we saw in the first quarter of 2022 has accelerated in the second quarter, driven by the ongoing geopolitical instability caused by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, inflationary pressure on spending, and a steep downturn in demand for Chromebooks. Supply chain disruptions also continued, but the major cause of PC delivery delays changed from component shortages to logistics disruptions. Enterprise buyers continued to experience longer PC delivery times than usual, but the lead times began to improve by the end of the second quarter, partially because key cities in China reopened in the middle of the quarter." End quote. One other issue that I would note beyond just these key issues with PC supply shipments is that demand was heavily pulled forward for personal computers the past few years. As consumers had to flock to buy computers for remote schooling, work, and other needs during quarantine, this caused a sudden influx of demand for PCs. However, PCs don't need to be replaced that frequently, and many consumers have recently purchased computers. So it makes sense that there has been a demand decline for PCs as the demand was pulled forward and is no longer needed. Gartner also supplied their preliminary worldwide PC vendor unit shipment estimates for the second quarter of 2022. As you can see here on their chart, each company had their second quarter shipments decline year over year, except for Apple. HP in particular was hit hard due to a steep decline in Chromebook shipments, which led to an estimated year-over-year decline in shipments of 27.5%. One thing that stock market investors should be careful about, given this PC forecast from Intel and AMD and the weak shipment data from Gartner, is that large PC manufacturer stocks like HP and Dell may come under pressure. If PC demand is quickly declining and there are supply issues, there's a strong chance that HP and Dell will report low earnings, and there is a risk that their stocks could decline as a result. While it's possible that these companies may be able to improve their bottom line results through cost cutting and attempting to sell their products for more money, it seems unlikely that this will be enough to make up for the decline in shipments. HP in particular has an estimated 27.5% year-over-year decline in PC shipments according to Gartner. so it would be wise for investors to be particularly cautious with HP's stock. Besides PC manufacturers like HP and Dell, investors should also be more cautious about other PC part suppliers after Intel and AMD's earnings reports. For example, Western Digital, which is a major manufacturer of hard disk drives, has the potential to be negatively impacted by the PC market decline, since a lot of their demand comes from supplying those hard disk drives for computers. PC and gaming accessories company Logitech also had a weak earnings report and cut its full-year guidance due to a, quote, challenging macroeconomic environment, end quote, and sees a sales decrease of between 4% to 8% with their fiscal year. This weakness in Logitech's results points to the fact that PC accessories and other consumer-focused electronic brands may post underwhelming results. So it's good for investors to be cautious for the time being about any companies that have significant exposure to the PC market. Be sure to let me know your thoughts, though, in the comments below, and leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more investing and finance content. Thanks.